There is no champion in League of Legends that quintessentially embodies my need to violently throw things at people more than Taliyah. And now that we're starting to acquire the full cast of Avatar The Last Airbender in League of Legends, and because I've been slaying with her in the Rift, she is amazing to play and has a lot of useful tools at her disposal to allow her to literally shape the battlefield, control the flow of combat, and, you know. So, if you want to know how to sling some pretty pebbles, because, you know, pebbles, rocks, you know. Joke. Any friends? Now let's briefly talk about her abilities. Top's passive lets her move faster near terrain, even terrain created by other champions. You can move around faster from place to place if you're trying to roam from mid lane or somewhere, or you're in the jungle going from lane to lane and ganking. Now it goes without saying that no champion has ever looked less threatening than someone just rolling on a surfboard, waving at you, yelling, and then plastering you with stones you found at the beach. Now her passive throws rocks, 5 of them, each gingerly smooched as they are rocketed towards some unfortunate soul's facial region. Each rock after the first does less damage, but overall does some serious hurt to your face. Now you might notice a big circle beneath you after casting. That's called worked ground. Now if you cast with the Q on top of the worked ground, you then launch what I like to call the bonkin boulder. A boulder of such mass, such girth, a meteor, you might say, that smites anyone unfortunate enough to be in range, launched forth the might of the heavens upon someone's cranium. That also uses less mana and slows enemies too, and does a little bit extra damage. Now your W, I really don't know how to put this well, fists people into the air. Now look, you heard me, look. It's in the description right there. Right, it said it fists people into the air. It's just useful CC ability if you get good at landing it, but it also is one of your main like combo pieces in conjunction with your E. Now your E sends out rocks on the ground because they're in the ground. You get rocks from the ground, if you didn't know. They damage and slow enemies hit, and every champion with a dash would tell you to go stick that boulder, you know, the bonkin boulder you threw earlier, somewhere where the sun don't shine, because an enemy that dashes or gets hit by your W over these rocks gets stunned for a portion duration of the dash and takes extra damage for each rock they go over. Very useful zoning tool, plus one of your big burst abilities when you combo correctly with your W and your Q. Your R, it makes a wall that you can surf on if you need to, you know, get somewhere. Now, I would at this point in the video go into some detail about what items to build and what runes to use, but I'm gonna be honest, you can look those up on something like u.gg or op.gg and you'll be fine. But if you want my personal choices, I'll quickly give you a rundown. Everfrost is my go-to mythic most games, and Comet or First Strike are my runes of choice. Personally, I like to CC chain lock someone till they get sent thoughts and prayers on Twitter. First Strike is big damage most of the time, and it gives me access to things like minion dematerializer, and Sorcery gives me a lot of scaling options through Gathering Storm, Manifold Land, and Transcendence. Now let's get into the meat and bones of the video, talking about Taliyah and how to play her in general. Early game for Taliyah is quite possibly one of the most miserable experiences I have ever experienced in my life. Insert League of Legends joke here. Your singular goal during lane phase is to roam around with your passive and ultimate, ganking lanes and stuff, because your wave clear will be pretty decent once you get Lost Chapter and you get around and stuff, and also just get through the laning phase. It is really important that you be patient while you're playing Taliyah in the mid lane, especially because your laning phase is going to be pretty rough a lot of the times. I'm not going to speak about jungle personally because I don't play Taliyah jungle, I play at Taliyah mid, but a lot of these things can be applied to Taliyah, like the builds and stuff and just playing her in general, because like your ganking is similar to your roaming for mid lane, so that's kind of useful if you need it. But I would suggest you go looking for videos specific on jungling if that's what you want. Now Taliyah has some advantages against some champions, especially with dashing champions, but with 90% of my champion pool, her early game damage is, well, not there. It's not damage. It's like negative damage. You'd be better off actually throwing Fruity Pebbles, because not only do you do no damage, but the enemy just needs to stand behind minions to avoid your main damage ability, your Q. Oh, but you could knock them with your E on your W to reposition them and hit them with the Q, you would say. Well, oh, you don't think I thought of that, huh? You don't think I know how to play the champion that I'm making a guide for, You think that I just pretended that I know what I'm doing in a game that I've played for way too many years at this point, and we're better off just going and playing another game that is not as competitive, like Monster Hunter? I don't think so. There are a few significant improvements you'll notice after the laning phase and beyond. Your Q will have a much shorter CD after level 9, and will start doing a lot more damage the later game goes on. Your combos and stuff will be really powerful in team fights because you can cover a wide area with your E, and you can deal a whole lot of damage with setups from other champions, or if you're really good at catching people out, you can set up for your team and stuff. You would assume that your team would most likely follow up, but that actually happens because it's, solo queue. But you don't need them. You don't need your friends or your teammates because you'll be dishing out tons of damage. Because at this point, you're basically a machine gun that shoots justice. And rock. Now, there are going to be a few bumps in the road on your way to Iron 4. Any long range or hyperscaling mage is going to rock your shit, since you really don't have the range to compete, or the scaling, really. You are a scaling champion technically because you're a mage, but you're not that kind of mage, okay? Victor, Vel'Koz, and Veigar are all going to be really tough for you. Also, you have issues with anyone who can outdamage you early, but as long as you're patient and keep it on the map for possible roaming opportunities and helping out your jungler and stuff, you'll be fine, get to the late game, and slay. Now, a few things to mention about your abilities really quick. Your ult can be used as an escape. If you started casting it, nothing can stop you short of being CC'd. Also, you can perform a pretty decent jump off of the ult, kind of like a gap closer, really. Just make sure you're not accidentally inputting a move action right as you cast it, because then you'll just fall off the wall right away, and it's just a whole deal and things. Also, you can do a fun flash move with the empowered Q. If you're on worked ground and flash, and then you cast your Q, you'll have the empowered version of your Q for just a second. So if you're fast enough, you get a pretty great snipe with a quick flash Q. That's all I really have to say about Taliyah. So if you enjoyed the video, slap on a like, hit that button, the red one, and I'll personally mail a rock to you. Also, don't forget the bell button to get notifications when I upload. And I also stream Friday, Saturday, Sundays, 5 p.m. EST, every weekend, most of the time. Come and join. Why am I talking like this? It's time to end the video. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm continuing to talk like this until the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.